Alright, hey everybody. Space Cat here. We are going to start a new playthrough in Satisfactory, and we are going to try to be efficient and fast, try to beat the whole game in under 40 hours, and we're also going to try to make it not exactly pretty, but definitely not a disorganized. The first 2 hours you'll have to bear with me. There will be some serious spaghetti. But we'll clean that up once we get to coal power. And then from there, we're going to rely on a very clean, efficient, functional build that hopefully will get us to the end game pretty quick. And we'll beat the analysis paralysis that can plague us. I'll also mention that this series is going to be for people who at least have some familiarity with the game. So if I say rips, you know I mean reinforced iron plates, and stuff like that. So it's not a beginner tutorial like someone that's never played, and I wouldn't recommend this to be a way to play if you're brand new at the game. This is more like you played the game, maybe you got a little stuck, or it got slow, or you're not sure what to do next, or do I use trains here? They seem really unwieldy. Would drones be better? Are belts better? For this playthrough, I am mostly going to be using belts. I will use drones, and I might use one train, a very simple bi-directional line between rubber, plastic, and hub. Let's see, what else? We're going to start in the northern forest. And in this first video, my goal is to start finishing phase 1, so the 50 plastic, 50 smart plating. But more importantly, I want to have blade runners done. I want to have a parachute, and I want to have Caterium up to zip lines done. And I want to start coal power right around the 2-hour mark, maybe a little bit earlier if we can, although I know since I'm going to be talking over the video that it might take me a little bit longer. So anyway, let's get into it. Alright, as I mentioned, we are going to start in the northern forest. There's a lot of reasons I like this place, but it's one I'm pretty familiar with, and we're going to start in an area that overlooks a big ravine where we'll get our main sort of base set up. And also it's very close to a lot of the early game stuff that you need, like the quartz for the blade runners, the Caterium, quite near to coal, and it sits on 4 pure iron nodes that we'll just be upgrading as we go through the game, and we pretty much won't use any other iron nodes than that. Same with copper and limestone, it's all there. So I'm going to name this one after Kitty Jupiter, and here we go. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is try to find my main base, and I'm going to try to pick up 2 hard drives as I orientate myself.
Landing platform hydraulics completed. Freighter landing initialized.
So as you're running across, you always want to be
you have completed onboarding and
grabbing
achieved the absolute minimum skill level required of a Fix-It pioneer.
Alright, let me talk now,
Ada. Forward to your future
always be grabbing leaves as you're moving along.
As a future with you. Tier 1 and 2 milestones.
One way to tell which way you're going
and biomass burners can now be built individually.
You're going to be looking for 4 iron nodes.
Project assembly by building the space elevator.
And these are the ones we want.
Of resources, so Fix-It recommends.
The thing is that we don't have a map yet, if you'll notice. So we have to kind of figure out where we are and orientate ourselves There's a hard drive right over here that I want to grab really quick. And it's really not even for the hard drives at this point. It's, actually, no, here's our quartz. Okay, so now I know. Go back a little bit. This may look like time wasted, but it's not, because we need to gather all these leaves and wood. So you can hold down the E while you're just used to spam. Alright, so we're going to make our way over to this hard drive over here. There is going to be an alpha pig guarding it, which we don't really want to fight with right now. Alright, I think it's like right over this ridge. Oh yeah, here's the summer sloop. Grab that. Not even gonna play with those guys, don't care.
The summer sloop was named after Marie Somerville, co-founder of Fixit and head of its R&D department.
There's Mercer spears up there,
about
but
the
we're gonna get
origin of
those
this
later.
shape and why this symbol mathematically resembling a Mobius strip has found its way into both human and extraterrestrial culture.
Alright, so here's the first
Thankfully,
hard
you
drive.
don't need to know any of these theories to be a pioneer. Store it for later use.
He can't hit
Fun
us there.
fact, the planet you are on was found and named during a planet spotting event Marie hosted called Marie's Awesome Scientific Search of the Avant-Garde Exoplanets.
You don't really want to fight these guys right now, so you could find them to get a little hooked on the corner right here. Otherwise, he'll chase you halfway across the map, which is annoying. Alright, so we picked everything up. Besides these rods, let's see, space, yep. Now we're just going to run along the ridge. So this is the ravine that we're going to build across when we get a little further. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this will know this spot. It's a pretty good spot. Got nerfed a little bit at 1.0.
Provide sufficient data to determine exact risk of consumption. Just because it looks like you can eat it does not mean it won't eat you.
There used to be quartz really close to it. Now quartz is a little farther away, but it's still fine. And we should find our next hard drive down here. Once again, so we just head north to this ravine. Okay, and you'll know the ravine, it's obvious. You know, don't fall down. Don't go in the poison clouds. And then you just keep heading over here and we'll find our spot where we're going to build our hub. And that's it right there. You see that limestone? We could drop down here. There's the hard drive. And when you find this hard drive, you're right next to where we start our base. I don't prefer, there's a couple pigs here, so I don't want to lose too much health. Gimme. Gimme. Just kill these boys. These guys don't do too much damage.
Samples of new alien species acquired.
This is a hard drive that doesn't need anything, so pick that up. And one thing I want everyone to make sure they don't do, there is a supercomputer back here. Make sure you grab that.
The remains for later study.
Not because you need a supercomputer, but because you need the 21 instant tickets it's going to give you once you get the sync going. And not exaggerating, 21. This is our area where we're going to start building our hub. You can see right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pure iron nodes. And we're going to build our hub. Okay, we're full, we can't make anything. We're going to build our hub right here. And I like to have the generator sticking out. Alright. Okay, before we start doing anything, we're going to make a little bit of biomass. One thing I want to say about biomass is that Biomass will always be pretty much creating by hand. We're going to be only in the biomass phase for about an hour, so we're not going to hook up our biomass generators together or anything like that. But when we get to biofuel, that we will be making in a constructor because biofuel takes really, really long to make. All right. First thing I like to do is get limestone going. Believe it or not, that's usually kind of the first bottleneck. Usually when I want to start building out my base this way, I won't have enough limestone. Alright, so this is all pretty routine, so I'm just going to do this really quick. Change a couple of my keybinds. Let's see. Got some. These. Let's get it. I changed some of these keys really quick. Keep this on 4, and I keep my power on 3, whatever. Okay, I want to make sure we don't fall off. Not the end of the world if we do, but we're going to make a bunch of power poles around here. I did mention we are going to get into tier 2 poles real shortly, because I can't stand these things. But they'll be good enough for me. Alright, now I got to go back up there and turn the constructor on, which I could have done when I was up there. So again, this is not a speed run, this is an efficiency run, right? So we don't want to take 300 hours to get into phase 4 or whatever. We want to do it very quickly, but we're not playing like, you know, Epiphany, just doing crazy, really, really fast things. All right, so we got that going. I usually just go through the milestones the way they're ordered. They matter too much to me. Although I could see some people might want to start with sticks first. So now we're going to clear this stuff out. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start steadily producing iron rods and iron plates, then copper wire, then the other limestone basically on the other side of this hill, and then screws. Excuse me, sir. And we are not going to, at this part of the game, consider how anything looks. Apparently not consider that we need to smell the stuff. Also. This is why I make so many of these power poles, right? Because otherwise you're running around trying to find something that hooks up. And... Alright, we're missing a wire, so that happens. Many. Yeah, I suppose I should probably start with copper just to make. We'll just build this out while we're here, although we can't do anything with it. So let's get a little bit of copper. Just do a little handcrafting. Won't be too bad. Ingots. Let's see if that's going to get us all the way. That would be nice. A little worried we'll blow a fuse. Give it a shot. Okay, we got you on there. And we'll just wait for a little few of these copper ingots so we can make some more wiring cable. Also need them for biomass programs. Here. By the way, if you're wondering why I keep building these and taking them away, it's honestly kind of like from before depots were around. I just learned my lesson by just not having it when I needed it, so I just always kind of... Alright, so we'll get some wire stacking up in here, which is great. And we'll go on a merry little way. Set the constructor. A little worried we're going to blow the fuse. Let's see. Pretty close. Alright, now I usually just, we're not going to waste any time belting our biofuel. There's no point. We're going to be on biofuel for like 40 minutes. Biomass, I mean. Some more there. Sometimes if you see that I don't use storage or something, I'd say it's just because I kind of have I don't know, like an internal clock, knowing when things are going to be done. If that's where you're at, go for it, but just make sure that that internal clock is working. You don't want to have 200 of something sitting in there, especially in the early game. And being fast right now will pay dividends in the future. Cable. It can be like this a little bit in the beginning where you're not used to not having a surplus of stuff, so I keep, I don't have any cable. Structure. Okay. And I might as well get screws. It's okay, should hopefully have about maybe 60 up here. Here. pretty dumb place to put these storage containers. Block my. Okay. Now we got everything working. Cable soon. So. So you notice I kind of like to set everything up before I start working. Stones. I need 2 constructors here. And, you know, I know everybody's seen this before. This is making screws, we're making rods. We'll definitely put a storage here. As you can tell, I don't really use, like, I don't use blueprints, and I don't use a lot of cycling keys. I do use hotkeys, but I don't know, not right now. Alright, so now we'll build that. And we should have enough to make the concrete. After we do this, we're going to go get the other concrete that's right over that ridge. And we'll make a little more biomass, and probably a generator or 2. Okay, it looks like more. Good news is now we don't have to go up there anymore. Is that enough? That's exactly. Oh no, it's. Ooh. Sally forth and gather all the stuff. And now we can make.
Milestone reached. Several new structures are now available for improving factory organization.
Some cable and some wire.
Building grid,
Got 10
which
concrete,
makes it
which
easier
is
to
enough
manage
to
placement
make
of
my
any
new.
structure. In the event that you are experiencing amnesia for all events prior to planetfall,
My next
be
concrete
reassured
area.
that memories of beloved humans and/or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
So we're doing good on power. Let's biomass first though. Never burn leaves or wood. Biomass is better, and then obviously biofuel is considered better. Down. Alright, and two. You know what? I gotta mine this concrete out. Anyways, I was thinking, oh no, I don't have enough concrete to make a miner. It's okay, because we gotta mine this out. Oh, because of the power poles. Okay. Again, don't care what it looks like. Would definitely recommend putting a box on this, especially when it's a little farther away from your main factory. It could be easy to forget. You are going. Let's make sure you're going. You're going. Let's blow up views. Awesome. All right. When we get to logistics, we're going to split off our 3 iron lines. But that's it. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're not building us. This is not even a. I wouldn't call it a starter base. This is, you know, just getting your feet off the. None of this will be here soon. We'll get that other iron going here pretty soon. Don't have nearly enough of that. When you're just making wire out of one thing, you're gonna back up both on the constructor and smelter. So there's nothing wrong with making wire by hand. It's really fast. One click. Same with rods. It's one click. You don't want to make iron ingots or copper ingots by hand if you can help it. That takes 3 clicks. Clearly did not grab the wire. It's in the basket. Copper. Which I think was 120 or something. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything, I'm more than happy to respond. I learned so much about this game from watching other players who have different play styles than mine. We are eventually going to go for kind of a sushi belt bus style of playthrough. So what that means is that we'll essentially make everything at a main hub, and we're gonna belt or drone in all the ingredients we need, and it's gonna look really pretty. It's not going to look like a visual masterpiece like some people obviously spend a ton of time building amazing stuff. This is literally going to be a floating platform with some verticality to it and some storage, and then everything will kind of come out of there as a bus. I can explain what a bus means if anyone wants to know in the comment, but it basically means you pull every single item off of that, those belts, and so we're not going to have to muck around with like trains and stuff like that.
Milestone reached. Conveyor belts can now merge, split, and lift to
Alright,
save
so
space
now we're
and
going to
enhance
split.
the productivity of your factory. Fix-It encourages you to consider investing in verticality
I
when it
take
comes
these
to
and put
factory
them on
logistics.
6
If
and
you feel
7.
stressed by this complexity, imagine yourself on the shore of a vast and calm ocean. Breathe in. Visualize all the people relying on you. The sea is made of billions of faces, each staring at you with hope and tears in their eyes. Breathe out. Feel refreshed and focused on your duties.
Could blow a fuse here, so let's go make more power. Birdie. And then we're going to just merge spell. Oh, I don't like it. Too steep. Don't fall off. You won't die, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to get. Alright, so this doesn't want to merge, that's fine. This means we make... we'll do that. I do have to admit, it's kind of hard to start over and not just be like used to having 1,000 of every resource at your disposal at all times. I keep being shocked, like, I'm out of cable, what the hell? Honestly, what happens is I keep thinking, like, why can't I build this? No, you don't want to go there. Here. Okay, we got wire coming in. Perfect. Stick bell. Let's get our plates. See if we can These two things. Excellent. No power. Huh. Okay, let's see where power-wise. Screws. Okay. Alright, so we got all our stuff done, pretty much. Alright, so everything is split. So now we're going to start doing some turns. Gonna have to craft a little bit. Getting a little iffy on power. Okay, so after this, we're going to get to chainsaw, and then we're going to go get our blade runners, and our caterium, and our parachute, and then we'll come back and finish up phase. And we'll do a big push on biofuel, so that we don't have to worry about power. Like, we don't even have to look at it again until. Alright, Actually,
Milestone reached. Supply the molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, with local resources to research and develop new technologies. Potential technologies include exploration tools, weapons, and factory buildings. These are essential for maximizing your Pioneer efficiency and alignment with Fixit's core pillars: construct, automate, explore, and exploit. To advance Fixit's mission, all notable phenomena, resources, technology, or other influence should be investigated regardless of any perceived danger, as stated in the Pioneer contract. The remains researched belong to an organism now dubbed the fluffy-tailed hog. It has many characteristics that would likely classify it among the Suidae family were it native to Earth. Hog remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving Pioneer safety during exploration.
We can split this off, and it's not that because it's 60 needs. Let's see if it splits. Never mind. So we'll just have one constructor going slow, basically. Actually, nope, we can't. That's a good example of why I always break down the crafting, because I hate it. I can't crafting because there's literally nothing to do except for bits. Gonna need a bunch of screws to make the chainsaw. The main reason we're getting chainsaw is so we can make tiles. Let's get that. Those are all going to make biomass. Not biomass, bio, whatever, the tubes. Biofuel. So this you do not want to craft by hand. Look how long it takes.
Created from any biomass
But
ensures maximum efficiency
biomass
of
you can make
biomass
by hand
burners.
pretty quick.
To aid in biofuel production, the chainsaw allows for the removal of tougher wood and coral foliage. Additionally, your pocket dimension has been inflated to increase inventory size.
But watch how fast these
Inspirational note. Will you be the Fixit Employee of the Month? You could be if you construct, automate, explore, and exploit by eliminating all obstacles to efficiency. This isn't just fun, it's contractually mandated, fun, fun, fun.
Okay, that's our last one before we get biomass going. Biofuel, I'm saying it. Fourth, fuel. It's hard to simplify. going to turn all of this into biomass ourselves while the thing is making biomass. See, look how quick it makes biofuel. And then we're going to switch all of that out into our current burners. And then we're going to start making some rips. Rips are reinforced iron plates. We aren't going to make rotors. Rotors we're going to buy from the shop more than likely until after we get. We might make some rotors, but we also have 60, just because of those hard drives we had. I actually do kind of want to get this going. Just in case I need. Again. And again, if you're wondering why I'm not belting, it's a waste of time, because we're not going to be monkeying around with biofuel for long enough to even, to consider belting it or anything. Like, this is the last time I'll make biofuel for probably the whole game. There might be, I don't know, sometime 30 hours into it where I need to cut something down and I don't know where the biofuel is, and I'm some. This is basically the last time I do it with intention. You always want to use biofuel because it's way more efficient, burns way slower, and you can see it's pretty quick to. And some stuff. That's why. Twice. Alright, now we're gonna finish off part assembly. So once again, I would say, especially in the early game, try to develop like a clock. Like, I don't want that biofuel to be done and not doing anything. Whoops. In the meantime, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna just sit there like, you know, watching it like a hawk. Because other things are needed. Otherwise, if you know you're still developing that skill, if you're newer to the game, then it probably does make sense to belt. Whoops. Okay.
Milestone reached. The assembler can produce more complex parts, including the first project part, smart plating, which is crucial for initiating project assembly. Project parts must be delivered to the space elevator. By completing your contracted duties as part of project assembly, you will definitely be helping achieve Fix-It Company goals without any other ulterior motive. Note: humans cannot craft project parts. Do not worry about your inadequate crafting skill when compared to an assembler. Fix-It cherishes your innate human abilities, such as walking, striking objects, and commodifying natural resources.
Didn't I build a... Oh. We're not using this iron yet. Just want to get it. And we're some here. Here. And these are purely going to be for now. Let's just do this. Most important is rips. After we do this, we're going to get out of here. Go get those blade runners. But first, we want to make sure our power is totally stable. Plus, we need a bunch of concrete and cable. Actually, we don't need concrete. We need cable, though. Wire, so might as well spend a little time waiting and make sure that power is legit, not going to crap out on us. Next thing we're going to get is a resource sink, because that's going to, Mr. Supercomputer is going to go in there and going to give us 21 tickets, which we'll use to buy some rips rotors and ladder. Ladder is crucial for early game exploration. I wholeheartedly recommend it. And I also wholeheartedly recommend not being afraid to spend some early points on rips and rotors if you're trying to, you know, get through the beginning part of the game to where you get to the fun tech. You'll have, tickets will come and go. Alright, and then we're going to start our rotors after this, and then we're just going to let them sit, which is going to be some lost time on it. It's alright. It's not that big of a deal when you can just turn around and make a bunch of stuff when you come back. So as long as all our iron plates and everything are going to the right places, it's really not too much lost time. We could belt it. I could make a case for either, but essentially I'm not. Except that. You? Could it be you? You? This is why I don't. Okay. Let's see where our power is at. We're getting a little close. You aren't right. Oh, yeah. Harvest. Oh. And fill them all up. You know what? I'll make the chainsaw too. Okay, that should be mostly it for biofuel for hopefully the rest of the game. Basically what I'm saying is I want to be on coal before I have to make more fuel or biofuel. We'll still need it for, like, when we first get the jetpack, if we want to drive anything around or whatever, but, ooh, like, look at that, 160 on, which is exactly. Okay. After this, it doesn't really matter what I get next. I'm not gonna do this right now because we don't have the resources, and it's not super important to what we're doing. But it will be. We want to get those 21 tickets from supercomputer as soon as possible. Okay, so now we're going to get Blade Runners. Why are we going to get Blade Runners? Because they make you run faster. Oh, we're going to top off our rips. Or our road. Alright, so why are we getting Blade Runners so quickly? Running faster is a big deal. But probably the biggest deal is that it makes it a lot easier to stand on splitters and mergers. It makes it way, way easier to do stuff. And then, after we get our Blade Runners, we're going to come right back to this area and get our Caterians, so we won't be back to the base for a while, which is okay because we need 500 wire. And then we'll get MK2 logistics, and we won't even worry about jump pads. Don't use them, except for fun. Just kind of goofing around. So obviously I've played on this map a few times, so stuff is relatively, although I do have terrible sense of directions. You do want to pick up any Mercer spears you see on the line.
The astrobiologist Dr. D.M. Mercer was the first to recognize the presence and probable nature of these alien artifacts. These chain-melted state spheres are named in his honor. Each sphere emits a unique signal. Research it in the MAM to establish locally appropriate.
Alright, so you'll see why we wanted to get the chainsaw before coming over. Second. That is because, you know what? Who's here? Let's do it. Just a quick note, a lot of these slugs you can get without breaking the rocks. I'm not going out of my way to get slugs right now.
This semi-slug species seems to persist entirely through absorbing and storing energy from its surroundings. Studying this could provide new methods for improving fix-it production line efficiency. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
I'm not going to go too out of my way, thank you, to get slugs right now because it's just so much easier when you have the jetpack. And there is definitely a use case for them right now, but it's our quartz is down here. There's actually 2 quartz nodes here. They're both impure. They will not be the nodes we use for actually playing the game.
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. Their weaponized plasma is most likely stored as a stable chemical substance in an organ close to their mouth, and only turns volatile when exposed to one of the chemical elements in the air. Research the remains in the MAM to establish classification and potential countermeasures.
I'm going to be super pissed at myself if it didn't break.
Unknown crystalline mineral collected. This mineral is composed of the same chemical elements as quartz and may yield similar industrial functions. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application. The crystalline mineral was a previously unknown variation of quartz, with uniquely large and flawless crystals, normally only found in synthetic quartz. The industrial application of this mineral will follow that of its synthetic counterpart, specifically in communication and exploration technologies.
We're going to go all the way down to inflated pocket dimension.
Research completed.
Alright, now we can make
Silica recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
pretty low on materials here. I think I have enough to do what I... Maybe not. It's okay. Let's try to save some. Kind of messed this up. That's okay. I just need to make sure we have enough silica to get our... I need 10 modular frames to unlock the blade runners. I'm not going to be able to do that. Well, I do know I need to do one. Sorry. So this was kind of a dumb mistake. So basically, I should have Blade Runner right now, but I won't. I do think that there's... Suppose I... And that's too... And again, if Immersive Spear is easy to gather... Stop.
Listen to the rhythm.
Alright, but the reason we made sure we got our chainsaw is because we want to grab this mycelia. And this will be enough mycelia almost for the entire game, really.
fruit of this fungus-like flora does not seem to show much potential for use. However, its mycelial network is worth further investigation. Research it in the man to establish classification and potential application.
Alright, let's go finish up our quartz. Hi, doggo. Here, we're too far? It's okay. So we basically need, I think, 300 silica. Maybe a little more, because then we gotta build the blade runners. 50 here, and I think it costs another 50. This. I'm not gonna go down this tree yet because we need the reps. We can't waste the reps right now. I'm gonna take back 200 just to make sure.
Quartz crystal recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
Oh, you know what? We have a bunch of iron on this. What am I worried about? Okay. We just need to make a few rips here. And then some modular iron. It's gonna take. Yeah, I don't know if it's. It's 2. Alright. Well. If it works. Let's see. More. Oh. Right. Take this.
Blade runners unlocked. Equipped to run faster, jump with greater force, and decrease fall damage that might otherwise have lowered your value to fix it.
No, just 3. Okay. That's alright. Okay. Got our blade runners. Guess I should put a container, right? Yeah. Especially, since I think we can. For it. This is not going to be the ports we use for our playthrough. God, with the invalid conveyor shapes. Okay. Alright, let's scoot. Okay, we're gonna go back to base, and we're gonna get Caterium, but as you can see, Blade Runner are a lot faster. I like to move fast, and you can kind of slide jump a lot better too. Just don't slide up a hill because you'll just stop. Something. Do that. Okay. I get a slug if it's sitting out. We do need to overclock, so I'm just not climbing up some big spire to get a blue slug. There's our Caterium. Can do that. They should take, like, if you jump on them, they should take damage. Nobody's gonna pop me when I slug. I'm gonna grab our concrete from over here. Notice we haven't looked at hard drives yet. We're not going to look at hard drives until we're done doing all the search that we want to do first. Hard drives, alt recipes aren't going to get you much right now. There are a couple tier 1 alt recipes I want, but there's more that I want after, so might not look at them until then. Oops. Stuff. Before we, let's get this milestone going. It's full. We're going. And all right, we're gonna end it here real soon. But first, let's sync that supercomputer so you can see what I mean. Juicy tickets.
Milestone reached. You have been given access to the anti-waste effort for stress testing of materials on Exoplanet's bonus program, also known as Awesome. Your awesome input allows Fixit to comprehend our amazing universe more clearly. In appreciation of this, we have generously set up an internal, closed economy with exclusive rewards and currency. Directing parts of varying quantity and complexity into the Awesome Resource Sink will grant Fixit coupons. These coupons can be redeemed in the Awesome Shop for
Let's make sure we have enough power. This thing actually takes quite a bit of power.
Walls, factory attachments, cosmetics, parts, and more. Next time you have additional resources, just remember to go that extra kilometer. Go awesome.
Super cool. Alright, watch this. I think I was lying about those tickets. Here it comes, baby. Boom. 21, just that easy. Let's make our awesome shop now. This anymore. Alright, like I said, there's a couple things I'm looking to do in the awesome shop. The first thing I want to do is architecture. Should not be called architecture, it's one of the best parts in the game. And then I like to get concrete. Grab a... I know it feels a little uncomfortable to do that, but you're gonna have so many tickets that it's fine. Let's do a little bit more research. This out of the way. You out of the way.
This semi-slug, now dubbed Power Slug, is early in its life cycle and has retained only part of its potential energy storage capacity, giving it its blue color. Power slugs are capable of extracting latent energy from their surroundings, including through a form of photosynthesis, and preserve it in their porous semi-crystalline shell over their lifetime. This explains why they rarely move after having found a suitable location.
I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get the parachute.
Research completed. Yellow power slugs are further into their life cycle than blue power slugs, and thus have more potential energy stored. They can now be processed into power shards.
Let's do this.
Power slugs extract latent energy from their surroundings to sustain themselves. By tuning the object scanner to the particular potential energy signature, it is now able to look. Sometimes toes need to be stepped on for the sake of progress.
I'm sorry, Aid.
Fortunately for you, I have no toes.
She gets a little snappy when you go real fast through. Alright, let's get our parts. And now we're going to take one of these and we're going to start making factory part. Going to make exactly what we need, no more, no less. Okay. Maybe we'll make one extra. Alright. A little bit of fabric. Ourselves. We need to remember. Did I research the parachute or not? Not yet.
Parachute
Are gonna get the
unlocked.
parachute.
Fixit appreciates your willingness to descend rapidly to perform your duties, but damaging Fixit property is a breach of contract and will have unpleasant consequences. Improve descent efficiency by combining the forces of gravity and drag with a
Okay,
parachute.
that's about all we need of that. Here, and we can mount it down there. Cool. Okay. So, we're gonna do a little bit of research here.
The remains researched belong to an organism that tends to nest near objects emitting specific types of resonance. Spitters are called as such due to their ability to create and spit plasma across long... I will now assume you are an expert and judge your use of these technologies accordingly.
Again, if people want to see me reading these, I'm open to that, but again, this assumes you kind of know what these things do. Like, if I were the first time playing this game, I wouldn't recommend playing this way. Like, you know, be slow with it, stay with it, learn things, don't rush through things like I am. This is more for people who are like, I want to start a new game, but I don't want to go through all the grind. We're going to just bang through that grind, and we're going to be on tier 5 belts in like 15 hours. That's what we're doing. That's maybe a little. It's 20 hours? All right, so I basically did most of the research that I need to do right now. We're going to go into Caterium next. Yeah, I'm actually not going to do research because we're going to pick that up right where we left off. I think we're about an hour and 15 minutes into this. By 2 hours, I'd like to have those 50 smart plates done and Caterium researched up to Mark II power poles with about 1,500 Caterium in my backpack. Not Caterium, quickwire. That will last me until mid-game when I actually start building stuff with Caterium and quickwire. But for now, we are going to wrap it up and do some stuff. Oh, we get Logistics 2. We are not going to be using Logistics 2 belts except for one thing. We are going to use Logistics 2 belts for our first coal power plant.
Milestone
I think,
reached.
and that's
Fix
the
It
only
would
thing
like
we'll
to
be
remind
using
you
it
of your
for.
contractual
We're going to go
obligation
straight into
towards
tier 3.
efficiency.
And once we get into tier 3, we're going to tear down all this garbage,
And we'll put you on the list.
and we're going to
Stay
start
efficient.
building
Don't disappoint,
out
Fix
this
It.
way and expanding that way. And we'll get rid of all this spaghetti mess, and we'll actually have something nice, but that's for when we get tier 3 belts, because I don't feel like tearing all this stuff down right now, rebuilding it just to have to rebuild it again very shortly. All right, let's see how many smart plates we got. We got 8. All right, so I got about 20 minutes to do Caterium after this and get back and ship it. All right, Space Cat out. Hope you found this video informative. Please put any comments or questions you have in the comments, and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. All right, peace out. Bye. Let's see where we're at. We are at 1 minute and 15 seconds. I'm sorry, 1 hour and 19 minutes. So I think we're on a pretty good pace. All right, talk to you later. Bye.